Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I am back with another Power Theory video. This video goes for what would be the ramifications of what Tariq did all the way in OG Power, what they did not show us in Power Book 2 Ghost, and what we will see the aftermath of Tariq's actions as Tariq goes and continues his career path and Power Legacy. And what we are going to talk about today is Yaz in regards to Tariq and the rest of the St. Patrick family, because the topic of today's theory is Yaz will go down a dark path in the future Power timeline, okay? What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the 5 or 6 main points in regards to Yaz and Yaz in the future timeline. How we will see her character develop, because yes, it will happen. How we will see her and Tasha's relationship, her and Grandma Estelle's relationship, and most importantly, and most devastatingly, her and Tariq's relationship as we continue down the future Power timeline and we find out exactly what Sasha Penn and the writers have in store for us. I'm going to let you guys know some of what we can definitely expect to see. Now, this video is all encompassing. I'm going to touch on points that you will probably not hear anyone else who does the same kind of content like me do, right? I'm going to speak on some things that they're not going to be speaking on until way later on, right? Want to know why? Because I am the Power Oracle and I can see these things coming, okay? This video is going to be another banger. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe if you're new here, as I give you guys Yaz's future possible villain arc. Okay, now, y'all, let's get to it. Now, what we have to understand in regards to Tariq's character is that he still has more development to do within his character. What we also have to understand is that the writers are not done with Tasha. The writers are not done with Yaz. And the ramifications of what Tariq did to Ghost is not done having its effect, okay, on the family. At least the family that's left, okay? What everyone is overlooking is that Yaz was very young when all of this stuff was going on. But what we have to expect is that with Tariq advancing in the game and Tariq still taking care of his family, he will be around, and we will definitely see how the destruction of the St. Patrick family has this effect on Yaz in many different ways. And what I personally believe is that Yaz will go on she will have somewhat of a villain origin story. Now, will she become a total villain? Not sure. But will she get into some shit? Yes. And what I'm telling you guys is the character arc and the trajectory that Yaz will go on will be similar to the trajectory that Tariq went on when he went from this innocent kid, and then he started to blossom into this troublesome kid who then became a murderer, who then continued to be a murderer, right? But when it comes to Yaz, I want to focus on these points. The first thing that I want to speak on is the possible second recast of the character, okay? Here's the thing. It's going to be 2026. What we can expect is whatever new spinoff this is going to be at least 2 seasons, but it could go on to be at least 4 seasons. And if they're going to advance the character of Yaz, we have to understand that the character who played Yaz was already recast at one time. But however, when we last seen Yaz, I do not believe that that particular young actress who played Yaz will have enough acting chops as far as being a dramatic actor to resume the role of Yaz. Plus, that actress probably is on doing other things, right? getting a bigger check, getting a bigger bag. I believe that if they intend on having Yaz be a real factor in the future of the Power timeline, especially when it comes to Tariq, and if they don't want to miss all the great dramatic possibilities that they could write Yaz in for in regards to her dealing with the rest of the St. Patrick family, including Tariq, that they will recast this character and they maybe will age her up 1 or 2 years. So that's the first thing that we should be looking out for. Now, in regards to the dark path that her character will take as the series progresses, now we have to talk about what we should definitely expect more than anything else, which would be, first of all, Yaz having trouble in school. Okay? And when I say Yaz having trouble in school, I mean just like what happened to any young kid who you grew up, okay, your family's dysfunctional, your father's dead, okay, your brother's in the streets, and she doesn't fully understand that, but she will pick up on that very soon and very early, right? Just like all young kids do, okay? She will begin to get in trouble in school. Why? Because her home life is going to be semi-dysfunctional. We still have to deal with the fact that Yaz is probably going to be home with Grandma Estelle and Tasha. We know that Grandma Estelle had her issues with drinking. She may pick that back up. And we know that Yaz, who already has to wonder why Tariq's not at home, right? Why Tariq can't live with the family. She'll also be seeing Tasha and Estelle arguing all the time. She's dealing with her sister being dead, her father being dead. She's going to go to school and act up, right? One of the earliest scenes that we can expect from Yaz, when Yaz is brought up in the new spinoff, is that she's acting up in school and she beats somebody up. She beats somebody up, right? That's the first thing. The next thing, right, that could cause some issues is Yaz starting to like boys. So with Yaz starting to like boys, this can go in any direction, right? Assumably, Tariq is going to put Yaz in a good school, but that doesn't mean she will be avoided from issues that come with her liking a particular boy, right? She could be introduced to either hustling or doing some kind of things that she's too young to do or not supposed to be doing in that kind of school based off of her influence of liking a boy, right? Or maybe she'll get into it with a boy will rough her up. We know what Tariq's gonna do if he finds out about that. No, we can't expect him to take the life of a young boy, right? Just for roughing up his sister. But we can expect Tariq to still show his face, right? And then he may end up talking to this boy's mom or dad, and that could take a turn for the worse, right? But these are just the beginnings of Yaz slowly starting to, right, have attitude. Yaz slowly starting to show off, right? Maybe we see Yaz, if they age her up, maybe we see her trying to dress in a certain way that Tariq and her mother and grandmother don't approve of, right? But moving on to the next point, right? Yaz may develop a natural gift for some kind of hustling, right? And those examples will be showing itself. Like, for example, right? We know based off of the St. Patrick genetics, we know that Ghost is very smart. We also know that Tasha is very smart. So we may find a scenario, for example, where Yaz creates some kind of app where she's giving the answers of the exams, right, to her fellow students, and she's doing that for a certain amount of money, right? And maybe she gets in trouble for that. Maybe she gets kicked out of school for that, or she gets suspended. But either way, right, the art of hustling, right? Finding a demand, right? Providing that supply, supplying that demand in order to make a profit. One way or another, We will see that from Yaz, okay? And people like Tasha is going to be like, hey, but what if, what is this? And you know what I'm saying? Right? And here's where things are going to take even more of a turn, okay? As we get into the fifth thing. Yaz will have many questions about the death of Ghost and the family's past that neither Estelle or Tasha will want to answer, or at least answer truthfully, okay? We will find out that Yaz remembers certain things from past episodes that will be brushed off as if it was nothing, leading to Yaz acting out even more, okay? And when I say that things will begin to take a turn for the worse, I mean by example that Yaz and Tasha's relationship will mirror Tariq and Ghost's relationship, as we all seen Tariq and Ghost's relationship unfold as Tariq began to feel like he's being lied to by Ghost. We seen his reaction, we seen what he began to do, right? And when I say it will mirror, now we have a situation where Yaz could find a mentor of her own, whether it's an older guy or it's an older woman, right? Maybe it's somebody, maybe the writers have a niece or an aunt of Tasha come into play, and this is somebody who chooses not to lie to Yaz, right? Maybe for whatever reason, maybe we have I'm forgetting this woman's name. Maybe we have Tariq's ex-girlfriend Josephine come into play, and she ends up being involved in telling Yaz the truth. Either way, things will go bad, and this will remind us of what Ghost was going through with Tariq, which in a way will be direct karma for Tasha, because when Tariq was making a turn for the worse, Ghost was doing everything in his power to keep Tariq from going off the deep end. And what did Tasha do? All she did was encourage Tariq to be the man who he eventually became. Okay? This will be bad. And Tasha will be the one dealing with it the most, because during the day-to-day, she will be around Yaz the most, okay? And also when it comes to Grandma Estelle, we may see Yaz really flip on Grandma Estelle as well, because we know that when Estelle was at her worst and it was just on her to take care of Yaz, she was being abusive towards Yaz, right? Both of these women will receive some kind of karma for what went on with Yaz. And finally, right, as we understand that Yaz will take a turn for the worse and her character will probably be aged up another year or two, and she will begin somewhat of a villain arc. The most important thing that will set her down this path is that Yaz will hate Tariq after finding out he got Raina killed and he shot Ghost, okay? However it turns out in the end, it's too early to tell. But one thing's for certain, right, is that Yaz will question what happened to Ghost. She's going to ask Tasha certain things. She's going to ask Estelle certain things. She's going to ask Tariq certain things. And with her asking all three of these people certain things, it's just not going to add up. And she's going to go from asking questions, feeling like she's being lied to she's going to have an attitude and she's going to play everybody to the left, okay? She's going to rock everyone to sleep, and she's just going to become more observant. She's going to pay a little bit more attention. Her ears are going to perk up a little bit more whenever Tariq is around and Tariq is talking to Tasha. Somehow, some way, it's going to go to her questioning what exactly happened to her father, to her knowing that Tariq killed Ghost, and to her having to deal with that, acting out even more without letting everyone know why she's acting out, to maybe her contemplating whether she wants to kill her brother, okay? All that and even more that I have not discussed or that no one has even thought about will go on as far as Tariq and Yaz and the rest of the St. Patrick family's relationship going into the future Power timeline, whether it's called Power Legacy or anything else. Okay? You guys let me know if there's anything else you think could happen in regards to Yaz's character in the comment section. I'm done for now. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God gifted. That's touched by an ink. That's on the dome, nigga.